Hi, I'm Ronald, and today we will be reviewing the Baohong Academy and Professional Watercolor blocks. They say that if you are serious with studying watercolors, then you should start investing on papers, specifically the 100% cotton ones. So I did. These are the Baohong watercolor blocks that I purchased online, and what we will be using on this video are the 10.2 by 7 ones for comparison. We will be doing a side-by-side review and comparison of these watercolor blocks. The one on the left side is the student or academy grade, while the one on the right side is the artist's grade. Both of these watercolor blocks are cold press and 100% cotton. They do have a hot press version, but I chose to purchase this one. Both are 300 GSM. GSM stands for grams per square meter, which indicates the weight of the paper. The higher the GSM, the heavier and thicker paper would be. Both measures 10.2 inches by 7 inches. These are watercolor blocks, so the edges are coated with glue on all the sides except for a small opening at the top part, the one with an arrow as illustrated on the video. You could use a palette knife, a ruler, or something that you could slid through and move along the edges to carefully remove all the glue. Now, on the video, I'm using this leaf blade, as they call it, which I got as a freebie if you'll purchase at least 2 watercolor blocks of the same size. The reason why all the edges are glued, by the way, is to avoid the paper from warping and buckling while you are painting. You should only remove your painting once it's completely dry. You might be wondering why the first sheet was pink earlier. It was just a protective layer of paper. The actual color for both blocks are creamy white. I will be leaving the Lazada link where I bought this, by the way, if you're interested. The Academy costs me 595 Philippine peso, or roughly $12 US, while the artist grade costs me 835 pesos, or $17. I got curious of what's the difference between the two, since both have similar item specifications. Now, I chose Baohong since it's a lot cheaper than most of the popular brands, say the Artist Watercolor block. If we compare the price of their artist grade of the same size and specifications, it would cost me twice the price of the Baohong Professional block, which is around 1,600 pesos or $32 based on the prices on the same shopping platform. Since I am just wanting to know how it feels to paint in cotton, then I believe this brand is sufficient enough. Plus, I heard a lot of good reviews and feedback for this brand. Now back to the paint tests and comparison. I divided the paper into 4 equal sections on the left side for some paper tests to see how the water and colors behave on these cotton papers. The first section is a wet test where I applied water on the paper first, then dropped and painted some Indian yellow. The second section on the right is glazing, where I let the Indian yellow paint dry first and then layered with cadmium red after. The third section at the bottom left is blending the same colors while still wet. And then the last section, bottom right, is letting the cadmium red bloom on top of the wet Indian yellow color. I got this idea from one of my favorite Singapore-based YouTuber and urban sketcher, Teo Yuchi, by the way. Now, the rest of the right section will be for a sample painting. As a newbie cotton paper user, the experience of painting on it is really on a different level. Had I known this earlier in my artistic life, then I should have befriended watercolors a long time ago. The way the colors and water behave in cotton is completely different. Plus, you have this ability to use multiple wet layers, which is something you couldn't do from using an ordinary cellulose paper without any cotton content at all. If you have the chance to invest on a 100% cotton paper, regardless whether it's student grade or professional grade, then you should really try it for yourself to really see and experience the difference. For me personally, I'd say invest on papers first before investing on artist grade watercolor paints. I tried using these watercolor papers using cheap paints, and the results are really significantly different than using an ordinary paper without any cotton content. Again, I will leave you with the rest of the time lapse. Hope you enjoy. From a newbie perspective, here are some quick side-by-side points I have listed while using these watercolor blocks. The professional grade absorbs water faster than the academy grade, so you may want to use a brush that holds a lot of water on your wet on wet techniques. The colors appear to be more vibrant on the professional grade. Now, I'm not saying it's not vibrant on the academy grade, it's just like there's this hazy layer on top of the colors when dried. Imagine sprinkling a baby powder on a painting, then completely dusting it off. There would remain some speckles of white layer after. That same effect. The academy has this noticeable diagonal grains, while the professional doesn't have any of that. It has this completely random rough grains. I am assuming the academy ones were machine-aided press or something like that, while the professional ones were done manually. I don't know. I can only guess. The watercolor blooms differently on the academy than the artist ones. See how the colors extend on the granular spaces, or whatever it's called. Other than what I mentioned, I couldn't think of any other significant differences on both papers. Here are some other paintings I have done using this same paper. If you like this content, please do leave a like or comment, and probably share this to someone who might like to watch this kind of videos, if it wouldn't be too much. I guess that would be it for now. Thanks. Bye.